Well, it's great to be here today. Obviously, game week. It's exciting around here. Lots of things to do, running around, and just excited. I think our kids are excited about camp ending. I think they're excited about having an opponent to play instead of each other. Primarily came out of camp I think pretty healthy. Besides the Rashad Weaver, which was obviously a major blow, at the beginning of camp, but from there on out, I think we came out healthy. Our kids are, locked in, I think, right now with classes starting today. They obviously have the day off, and then tomorrow we'll resume practice. We get to play, the Virginia Cavaliers, and Bronco Mendenhall does an incredible job. He's done a great job building that program since his arrival, and we look forward to having them, come up to Heinz Field next Saturday night. I think it's going to be a heck of a matchup. Obviously, coastal, favorite this year, Virginia is, and that'll be a challenge. I mean, anytime you open up with someone that's preseason favorite, I think it adds a little extra for the game. So, obviously, on offense, Bryce Perkins is the guy. He's the guy you got to stop. They've got weapons. They got new weapons. Their depth chart just came out earlier here, and there's some slight changes that I have not had a chance to digest from. In the spring they don't have numbers, so you watch some different stuff and hear different stuff. Nobody's got a number, so you're not sure even who you're playing at times. But at least they don't have Daffy Duck playing right guard, so I guess there's a bonus there. You know what I'm talking about? EJ, they don't even know. We got to get you around. But Bryce Perkins, defensively, Bryce Hall at corner, a Pennsylvania native who is a super kid. Got a chance to talk with him down at our ACC Media Day. Just a tremendous kid, and obviously a big dude, really good corner for them. And then Charles Snowden is another guy up front. So we've got to know where those guys are at all times. And obviously they got a big old true freshman nose guard that I know came out on the nose guard or on the depth chart here in the last 20 minutes that you know nothing about. So it'll be one of those games that we're going to have to find out who they are, what they're doing. It's a typical opener, even though we've played them in the past. They've been a team that messes with. There was one, I think 2 years ago, they had 37 different personnel groupings. So it's a lot to digest, on one side of the ball, and then offensively, they'll have to. They're watching a lot of stuff from, I'm sure, a bunch of UMass tape. They're watching all the stuff we did last year, and they're going to have to decipher what we are doing, both in the run game and the pass game. So, one special note that I'll finish with here and let you guys ask some questions is this will be our first game since the passing of Bill Fralick, and as a tribute to him and his family, especially his wife Susan, we'll have his brother-in-law Tom Brown, former Pitt fullback, be our honorary captain. So that's never easy, and to be able to have them back and honor them on our first home game of 2019 is special. We'll also have, I guess I don't call it terrible towel, but Bill Fralick was a pretty nasty football player. But we'll have 79 towels as well given out before the game, also in a tribute to Bill Fralick. So, questions?
Pat, NFL teams, practice starts sooner, start the game sooner, start your season later than you do, and then you get the game Saturday night with Miami with a lot of mistakes in it. Do you get enough hitting? Do you get enough practice that you're ready for a game this early?
It doesn't matter, Gary. We all get the same. Again, obviously that the NFL's got the model right, but they also pay those guys, and they're able to play those young guys, get some stuff out of the way. But and again, I only watched probably 10 plays last night. I saw Ben light it up going down the field, and they look pretty sharp. I saw Rudolph to Washington, which made me cringe again. I mean, those two, except it was a post, not a fade. I didn't know he knew how to run a post route, but they look pretty sharp when you look at their third preseason game and going to their fourth on Thursday. But it is what it is. There's no sense in complaining. We all have the same situation. I think it comes down to just the details that we talk about discipline. I don't expect to go out and look like, what maybe the Miami-Florida game looked like. That's not us. That's not what we prepared for. That's not what we showed. But when the lights turn on in Heinz Field at night, sometimes you don't know what you're going to get. And the emotions are flying. Those are things that we can't replicate. We had a rehearsal scrimmage I think last time I talked to some of you guys over at the Weston, that I thought was pretty sound. It wasn't physical, but it was more of a mental. We had some special team, miscues as far as, I didn't know, that punt was on the field, coming out late. Where's this guy out for kickoff? So we had some of those that we hoped to clean up, but we couldn't have had a better rehearsal on Friday, just as far as being in Heinz Field and really just, hitting about everything, kickoff after safety, whatever it was. We're pretty detailed in taking care of situations that maybe, we'll never see maybe till week 5, 6, or maybe not the entire year. So we've worked every situation mentally, but then, when things hit the fan on Saturday night, you never know how the kids are going to react. So hopefully they're prepared and ready to roll.
Speaking of Heinz Field, how important is it to play well at home and to win games at home in terms of your schedule, in terms of how your season's going to go?
Well, with 7 home games, it's obviously real important, and we put a premium on home football games here for the city of Pittsburgh. So when we walk into Heinz Field, it's important. We play our best. But anytime we step on the field, that means I don't want to win every home game and go lose every away game. So every game's important. You only get 12 guaranteed. So they're all important. But to play well in front of our home fans in the city of Pittsburgh is obviously something that I think our kids all look forward to. John?
You mentioned Bryce Burns. How do you prep for a guy like that in practice? Do you use a special scout team guy to kind of emulate his things?
Sometimes you do. We prepared for different athletic guys and have changed things, but I don't think we did anything special for him last year when we played in that game. I forget who the scout quarterback was that week, but obviously Bryce can throw it and he can run it and scramble. So it's really just getting our kids used to what we need. And the first thing we're going to have to get used to is last time we played them, we were in mid-season form as far as hitting a quarterback. We have stayed off the quarterbacks, which scares me. So we're gonna have to hit the quarterback this week on the scout field. We did a little bit last week, but our kids were still. It was kind of like even though our scout quarterbacks didn't have red jerseys on, they still were kind of like that's the quarterback, and they stayed off them. So they're gonna have the green light to go light a quarterback up and tackle them this week. So that's the biggest thing, is really just tackling a quarterback. And I would say that whether it's Perkins or anybody, Vinny Testaverde. It doesn't matter who we're facing in the pocket. We got to go hit the guy regardless of how athletic he is. And he poses a challenge because of he's a scrambler and he can make a lot of things happen with his feet.
What challenge is that for a guy like Desmond Alexander who's looking for another?
It's a challenge for Desmond. It's a challenge for everybody on that field. It won't be Desmond's not rushing all by himself. It's going to take 4 of them. It'll be a Desmond for Patrick Jones and Twyman and the rest of them, and the linebackers for that matter.
How soon did you guys start looking at them and preparing for them? Was this first day of camp stuff? Was it in the spring?
No. This is in the spring. I mean, our coaches have looked at them all, February and March, that we've watched them. You watch a spring game when it comes out. You're watching everything you can. But no, we've had scouting report on them for a long time as far as who they are. But again, until you get the final depth chart, I mean, they got things they're changing and doing here in the off season. So there's still things you don't know. But what we know is what they are on tape, and we've got them. I mean, you couldn't dissect them any better than what we've dissected them, what we know of. But then there's all the last month. What have they done? Who's emerged? What's their freshmen look like? How much? I know our guys. We got guys that are faster than they were a year ago. So their guys are faster. Which one's their speed guy? Who's the new feature guy? I don't see a number 4. Really, going back to Taekwon Mizell a couple years ago, who's in the league, I believe. They've always had a number 4 who's their dude. I think they're disguising him. There's no number 4 in the roster, so we're kind of looking to see who 4 was going to be. We don't know. Last year I think number 4 had like 93 catches, and I forgot what his name was, but I remember Taekwon because I like that name.
When you talk about tackling, do you feel like that was the key to what you guys were able to do against Perkins last year, and kind of keeping him from going up?
Yeah, we got him down on the ground. I mean, that was key. One way or another, we got him on the ground. So tackling is going to be critical, and tackling the quarterback is going to be critical this week for our D-line and linebackers, for that matter. And he's got designated runs where they'll run quarterback outside zone with him. They'll sprint out. He'll take off running. They do quite a bit with Bryce.
He's a talented defensive back like Bryce Hall. Is your philosophy to throw away from him, or to just run your offense kind of as is, go right at?
Well, we're going to run our offense as is. We can't, just eliminate the right side of the field for the offense. We've played other good corners, so that's our job on offense. I'm not going to give you the game plan as far as are we going at them, away from them. we're gonna attack their defense just like they're gonna attack our defense and our offense. So I mean, we're gonna look for strengths and weaknesses and try to maneuver in the proper way.
That chart here, Will Grad, sometimes something is number one tight end. How do we create that separation?
Will's had, he's been here for a year. He's certainly done a nice job. He's gotten bigger. He's gotten stronger. He can stretch the field, I can tell you that. So he's a guy that, has really just, caught a lot of balls in camp, which, a tight end catching the ball is kind of unheard of the last couple of years. So, he's done a nice job. And again, when I talk about speed, there's a guy that's changed his speed where, defense is going to have to deal with his speed down the field.
See from Tamari, throughout camp, Tamari Mathis, we haven't talked a lot about, but Jason and you talked a lot about.
Well, I've said earlier in camp, and I felt that way coming out of spring ball, that we have 3 starting corners. We can rotate those guys. We can keep our corners fresh. And I feel the same way really at the safety spot with Damar Hamlin, who's outstanding, and then Jay Stocker and Paris Ford are 3 guys that we can rotate those guys. We can keep them fresh. And I feel the same way about Mathis. I mean, he's been outstanding. He's been consistent. His knowledge of the game and what an offense is doing. I think last year he played like, every formation was the same. Every backfield was the same. Every receiver split was the same. Right now he's got that. I think, those are the keys. I think, the keys to playing offense and defense is when you can start knowing what the other team is doing as opposed to just, hey, I got my job done, but you have no idea what the other side of the ball is doing.
A couple of those orders because you have good depth at corner and safety.
Exactly.
A couple of those orders maybe because nobody has really separated yet.
I would say a majority of those oars, are because we feel pretty good about them. And, if I could name 15 starters, I mean, if you name, I don't even know what's on the oars there. D-tackle, it means because of depth. I feel like any of those guys, backup quarterback, still looking at that. You could, figure that one out.
Mike and Star as well.
Yeah, Phil Campbell and Cam Bright are doing well at the start. I mean, I think we can win a lot of football games. Where a year ago it was, kind of Sean Idowu, and I wasn't sure who was going to go in next.
I had for the first time you opened with a conference opponent. You talked about the excitement of it earlier. How exciting is it, given that, like you said, they're picked to win the division, and you defending your division title, and all those factors incorporated to open the season?
Well, I think our kids are excited. They're sitting up on campus. As coaches, I think I was telling someone at the luncheon, like, everybody's coming up, hey, aren't you so excited? I'm like, I'm not really excited. I mean, I get excited game day when they come out of that tunnel. That's when coaches get excited. I think it's like finally got here. But until that point, we got a lot of work to do. I walked out, 7 minutes before this press conference started, out of a meeting. And again, there's a lot of work that has to be done for us to not look sloppy Saturday night.
How do you feel about playing a conference game as the opener, given that you're 4-0 in openers?
Yeah, I didn't know that. Thanks for letting me know. But this opener is going to be a little bit different. I'm excited about it. And I think, like I said, I think I mentioned this back in the summer as well. I'm excited about opening up with a conference team, a well-coached Bronco Mendenhall team. But regardless of who the team is, I think opening up in the ACC is special. I really do. I mean, and I think it gets our kids' motors going a little bit further. They're not thinking, oh well, we got this game. So there's been a little, I can say those, last 4 openers maybe 4-0, but we didn't play Virginia. Okay, and I think they're a very, very talented football team. So we better be ready to go. And I think the attitude has been, they know what's on the line. It's an ACC game. And they know what's on the line. They know this is a very good football team. We know we're going to have a hungry Virginia team coming in here trying to kick our tail because we got a win down there last year. So we know they'll be hungry. We know they'll be tough. There's physical. There'll be a lot of talk pregame, and we kind of know what we're getting into.
With y'all being the defending coastal champs, and then with your Virginia being picked to win the division preseason, kind of building on what you were saying earlier, is there an extra measure of pride that comes with this game where you guys are defending that title, and here you have a team that's prime contender to possibly take it?
There's, you can throw everything out. This is 2019. Last year was 2018. This is totally new teams, new people. This is the only time you're going to see a 2019 Virginia team versus a Pitt team. So we don't have the same guys we had. Olison's playing in Atlanta. Darren Hall's in Green Bay. It's a different football team, so it doesn't matter what happened a year ago. they're the preseason favorites. I don't know if that's media. I don't even know who votes on all that stuff. But there's a reason that they're there, and there's a reason we picked fourth. So our guys got to step up.
Why do you think you were picked fourth?
Like I said, I don't know if that's the media, the coach. I don't think I got a chance. No one asked me for a vote. Why did we pick fourth? I don't know. I mean, it doesn't really bother me. That's great. Pick me 8th, 10th. It is what it is.
Same offensive line theory that we saw day one camp, to the starters. Where have you seen the growth of those guys throughout camp up to this point, and how confident are you with those guys?
Well, we'll find out. I mean, you never know. Like I said, whether you watch that Miami-Florida game, you don't know what you're going to get out of a freshman right tackle or out of a first-game starter, out of anybody. So we're going to find out. That's why they have the test. It's going to be at 7:30 p.m. on Saturday. But I feel comfortable with our offensive line. I really do. But again, we'll find out if they get an A or B or C or D. I don't think it's going to, I don't think it's going to be an F, but we'll find out what kind of grade they get. But I'm happy with those guys. From the left tackle to the right tackle. I mean, Gabe Hoy's been really special. We thought it's kind of be a tackle, but he's filled in at that right guard spot, and we got some guys to fill in at both guards as well. So we've stayed healthy, and I like the chemistry in that room. I like the coaching that's going on in that room, and I like their toughness. I mean, we're going to be able to run the football. I can guarantee you that, and that line is going to be key to doing that, regardless of who's in our backfield.
The 3-4, blitzing can be challenging for experienced offensive lines. Is that going to make communication, with a new group especially important?
Yeah, it could, depending on who your center was. But with Jimmy Morrissey in there, I don't have any fear that they're all going to be on the right page and go in the right direction. So he's obviously a key piece. But Owen Drexel's made some major strides. Jake Cradle's also taking snaps at the center spot. So whoever that back, I don't know if there's some oars at the center spot. Jerry's checking it out right now. But I don't even know who that second center would be in the game. But we got those two. We've worked hard at working a backup center as well. We're going to find out about that.
Traditionally in those openers, you've kept things pretty vanilla in an effort to sort of offensively to sort of not show everybody the next opponent, which was usually a step up, kind of what you have.
Mm-hmm. Are you sure we did that?
What's that?
Are you sure we did that?
I'm pretty sure. Well, either that or your offense was really, really boring. I'm not sure that was the case. Did Mark have to sort of accelerate the installation of stuff? Are you guys maybe throw more at kids earlier in the process?
Well, it's quality or quantity. Which one do you want? So, you can look at it. I mean, sometimes the opener, what do you do well as an offense? The one thing I know we're going to do well is run the football, okay? And, whether it's 4 different schemes that you're going to run, you're going to see a power scheme, I can tell you that. Again, we can throw a bunch of stuff in and see what they got. I mean, you guys watch a spring game. But the more you do, the worse you are at what you do. And so that's kind of, we can be vanilla in the opener, whatever it may be. It could be because we held stuff back. It could be because that's all we wanted to do or could do at that point. I mean, if you recall, a year ago, we had a young offensive line too, right? I mean, you had Dentino and Herndon, 2 starting left tackles. We had this transfer tackle from Kent State that, nobody knew who he was. Kind of like Nolan Ulizio at the right tackle. It's like, who is this guy? We got, so there's a difference there too. So take into account who you have. I mean, we're placing 4 linemen up front. So what's the easiest thing to do is to run the football, eat up the clock, and do what do what a tough Pittsburgh football team does.
Right, but you talked. I remember media day we talked extensively about sort of you need to be more dynamic in the passing game.
We do, and it's gonna be our passing game is gonna be dynamic too. So when we do throw it, it's like let's complete it. I guess we find out Saturday night. But we're going to throw the ball better too, and we're going to throw it more often. But we're still going to be able to run the football. I mean, it starts there because your passing game won't be worth a darn if you can't run the football. I can guarantee you that. So we don't want to be one-dimensional. I do not want to come out of that game going, we ran the ball 80% of the time. I'd like to say it's 60-40 run. 50-50 would be nice, but it's an opener, and we've got to be able to run the football.
At a camp I guess Trey Tipton had a pretty good camp. What did he show you?
Trey Tipton has been, outstanding. Really has. He's been special. I mean, he's as engaged as he's been since he's been here. And again, Chris Beatty, I give him credit for getting him, hugging him up, bringing him in, and getting every ounce of talent that we've got out of him. And I'm happy. I think he's going to make a lot of big plays. He's running routes better than he's ever run. So to answer your passing question, it's like, do what you do better. We don't have to do it more. We just got to do it better. Hope I answered that question. And Trey Tipton's part of that. Let's do it better. When we do throw the ball, let's run a really perfect route and let's put the ball where it's supposed to be and let's throw it out. Let's get it out of our hands on time. Those are the keys. It's not how many times, or how fancy it looks. It's like let's just gain yards in the running game, pass game. But Trey, I'm excited about him.
Sticking with the wideouts, no shocking there on the depth chart. Is that just more of a
Who's you said again?
shocking?
You said he is on the depth chart?
He's not, no.
Okay.
Is that just a testament to the other guys, or?
It's a testament to the other guys. I can't tell you who's on there. I didn't look at the depth chart. EJ just makes those depth charts up just so you know. He kind of puts who he wants on there when he wants. Shockey's a guy that's got a ton of talent and will play. So let's leave it that way. It's a 2 deep. We didn't give you the 5 deep, but
You should make EJ a coach.
that's right. He is.
So with that, do we have anything else we want to talk about?
Anything else?
You talked a little bit about Ulysio. You also have Colin Johnson and Keith Griffin-Stewart. I mean, that's something that's been happening for a while in college football, but how much different does it make, especially in game one, when you're plugging in a 4th or 5th year guy as a new player in your lineup, as opposed to maybe like, a redshirt sophomore that's never seen the field as a competitive situation?
Yeah. And those guys all played meaningful games before, so that helps us a ton. And, I tell you what, we've gotten lucky, really lucky with not only the quality of player they are, but the quality of people that we brought in this room. Because it's hard to bring a guy in here 1 year and try to fit in with all the guys. Our kids have done a nice job opening their arms to those grad transfers. The grad transfers have done a great job at opening up their hearts to the football team and giving it everything they've got on the field. And you're going to see those 3 guys, play an awful lot of football. And again, it's a testament also to our staff and our coaching staff of getting the right guys, not only character-wise, but these are 3 major additions to this football team that are gonna contribute a lot to this football team. And I'm excited about watching all 3 of those new guys. They're Pitt Panthers now. I don't know where the heck they went to school before, but we're happy they're here. And the one thing you don't want to do is bring in 3 grad transfers. They're not playing for you. I mean, we brought in the right ones. And again, we've done a great job evaluating and bringing in the right ones. Whether it's Nathan Peterman, who I hope makes the Raiders there. He had a great 2-minute comeback the other day. So but that's what we're looking for.